What's up, guys? Welcome back to the spring positional review videos. Chris Level, Ben Golan. This episode is brought to you by Primary Residential Mortgage Incorporated. Whether you're buying, refinancing, or taking cash out of your home, PRMI can help. They can be reached by email at prmiraider@primeres.com, through their website at lendingwithpassion.com, or by phone at 214-736-9466. Chris Level, how are you?
Did I just have I been mispronouncing your last name for all these years?
I mispronounce it half the time because I'm so used to people mispronouncing it. So
So it's
I
Ben
just
Golan.
it's Golan, yeah. But it's fine. I'm so
Sounds
used to it.
it sounds fancy.
Thank
It
you.
needs like some sort of little symbol over the A to tell somebody to pronounce it different. It's almost like it sounds French. So like this would be like, saying I've been calling Jim Mitzel, but hopefully it's not Jim Meitzel or
I think
something with PRMI. But yeah, I don't think I'm mispronouncing Jim's name, but heck man, I didn't think I was mispronouncing yours, but who knew until right now. Right
yeah,
now.
right this
Yeah,
very second.
and Ben Golan has never said anything, but I guess he just kind of went along with it. My apologies.
Correct. It is no
Uh,
problem.
okay.
Um, we are going to be looking at the inside linebackers today.
Yes.
A group that has a couple of older dudes and then kind of a lot of young talent, and not much in between.
Yeah, the problem with this group is that you lost two really, really good players.
Yeah.
Kosai Eldridge finally got to where he stayed healthy and found a home at one of the interior linebacker spots. Krishan Merriweather he played his best ball his last year, and these guys were just extremely productive the entire season. They were available, productive, and a big part of why you were so good last year. And if there is a question on your football team, this is it. This is it. It's either this or I would maybe say, offensive tackle, maybe kicker, although I know who those people are going to be. I just wonder how good you'll be, and is it good enough to be Big 12 championship good and all that. But the problem here is that you feel like you know who it's going to be, but you don't necessarily know who it's going to be because you may add to it. And you're just not sure what that's going to look like in comparison to last year.
Yeah.
The Josiah Pierre was not position change was not something I was necessarily expecting, but I think it makes a ton of sense. I think it was actually Pierre's kind of idea / he's completely cool with it. It did some of this at Florida. And I think if he can get in there and be a dude for you, I think, boy, you a lot of your questions are answered. But right now you're still in the, I don't want to say hope, but you're still kind of, not entirely sure that you're good, you're locked in, everything's fine. The other name that I think is going to be really, really good, but again, we are projecting a bit here, and he was not healthy this spring because of some of the similar issues with shoulder stuff that I think Bradford had and all that, and that was Jacob Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Rodriguez, who played Wichita Falls Rider as a QB and went to Virginia and then comes here, and he's just been this is a football playing cat right here, man. This guy, I think you could put him in a variety of different things. I think he would excel at anything. I just think, but he is really good at football, and he is your typical football player. Just kind of this got the perfect size, speed, mentality kind of thing where I think you could say, hey, dude, we need you to put your hand on the ground and go rush the passer. And he'd be like, all right, I may not be the best at it, but I will get it. And I think you'd like what you got. I think you could put him at, fullback or tight end or just, heck, I mean, obviously he was a quarterback in high school, and Wichita Falls Rider is a very good program.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that that's an answer for you. I really do. But these are these are projections. These are kind of hopes. This is what you want to assume. And it's a lot to assume when you had guys as good as Kosai and Krishan last year. Bottom line, I think
Yeah.
Tyreek Matthews is a guy that also, and maybe his time is now, but I think, and I like Tyreek. He's been around here a long time. I will tell you that I think it's fairly telling that they would like to add to this position because I think Tyreek is really, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with this. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I think he's a special teams guy, and I think he's just kind of a backup type player. And again, 99% of the population will never get to experience college football as a player, or 99.9%. So
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I'm being negative about Tyreek, but I think you're still trying to add to that group because this is a solid player in your rotation. But I think you're wanting to add some more, dynamics to it. And again, Tyreek's a really good special teams guy. So, but then after that, it really gets into Ty Kana, it gets into Ben Roberts, it gets into I'm trying to think of who else, and then obviously you have some signees there that one from Lubbock Coronado that I think has a chance to be really good. But these are big steps for these guys, even the young guys. And I know Kana had a really good spring game and good spring, and Ben Roberts, I think they speak highly of him. You still would like to add with an available scholarship something to your interior linebacker room, Ben.
Yeah, and I'm going to get to those names in a second, but Jacob Rodriguez, you mentioned him. Only 153 snaps, but I feel like there were loud snaps. Like when he got on the field, he would make a tackle for loss. He would, make a big tackle in the open field. He would make his presence, felt,
Mm-hmm.
and he's someone the staff is high on. Like I said, only 153 snaps though, so like you said, a lot of projecting there. As far as, additions to the room, I do think that's probably one of the higher priority areas. They offered DeVaron Rayner from Northern Illinois. He committed to Kentucky. They offered Connor Neer from Ferris State. He committed to Oklahoma. And then depending on when you're watching this, there could be news already there, but North Texas's Larry Nixon III is a guy who got in the portal, and I believe he's going to take an official visit. I believe that Auburn and Miami are kind of the other two schools that he's considering, and he's a guy who's played almost 2,000 snaps at North Texas. So you kind of know what you have there, and he would be another, if you're able to get him, which is going to be tough, it sounds like, but he would be an experienced guy to add to that mix.
Yeah, I just think they want some more depth and age at that group because this is really the case with so much of your defense. You've got really old and then young and inexperienced, and there's not just a lot of sophomore, junior,
Yeah.
really across the board. And I think that's the scary thing. So I do think though that if you could get a 1 year guy only, if he was the right fit, you would take it. But I think you're looking also because I believe that's what your North Texas guy is. I think he's just
Mhm.
he's got one season. But I think you wouldn't rule out somebody that had multiple years available to them. But yeah, anyway, I think this is a position that you would like to add to, certainly. And I think it's interior linebacker maybe biggest question on the team. Like I said, to kind of go back to this is just, and again, part of that, Josiah and Rodriguez, who I think Jacob Rodriguez, who I think maybe would be your two starters if all things being equal and everybody being healthy and all that. I could be wrong there, but that's what I think. They could be lights out. But it's really about what you lost and all those things. You just need a third, fourth, fifth, option there, and I think Tyreek Matthews can certainly do that. However, I just think you want to add some more to that group. I think as we've established, and again, they're telling you that based on these offers. That they are just shouting it from the mountaintop. Look, we would like to. This is a group we would like to add to because every time I see a defensive guy in the portal that's offered, you go look and it's 6'2", 230 type guy, that can
Hmm.
play the Mike or the Sam. So there you go.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned it's kind of like this way across the whole roster. You have Matt Wells did bring in some really good players, but they're oftentimes from the portal. And so now those guys are seniors, super seniors, and then you have all of McGuire's high school signees, and you just kind of have to bridge that gap for this
Mm-hmm.
year, for next year, and let those kids grow because you have five freshmen or redshirt freshmen: Ben Roberts, Ty Khanna, John Curry, Miguel Dingle, Justin Horn. Those guys are the future. Are they ready to play today? And that's kind of, you just have to find some snaps there, and that's what they're looking to add. So, anything
Yeah.
else?
No, I don't, but again, I think really of this group here and Tyreek Matthews, the ones that, are this year guy only,
Take
and
up
everybody else.
Rodriguez. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, everybody else is back and has multiple
yeah,
years left. And so, yeah, you're right. It's just, and again, I wouldn't be surprised if this is something you try to address, depending on if you can get anybody that you like here. But if they're a 1 year guy, then you would certainly, I think, look to address this position again in the portal if you can find something next year, just to kind of try to stay older or with some experience at that spot. So anyway, but this is, if I have a question about the team, again, I've said it a few times already, but this would be kind of top of the list.
yep, I agree. Well, good stuff. And thank you guys for subscribing to RedRaidersports.com. We will be back and continue this series with a look at the DBs.